In this video, I want to talk about interest. And we're going to start off by talking what we call simple interest. And just so you understand what interest actually is, basically, it's a fee that's paid on money that is being borrowed. So when we do that to calculate interest, we always start off with this money that is borrowed or some kind of beginning investment. And that beginning investment is what we call the principal. So we're going to refer to that as P, and that is we know as the principal or the initial investment. And then what happens is with that fee, we apply a rate to it. And that rate, we're going to call it R. And this rate will always be expressed as some decimal. And then the other part of the interest part that we need is what we have, well, you pay that fee, you pay that rate on the principal that you're borrowing over a period of time. And so we call the time T, and the time is always expressed in years. And so we get a simple interest formula to calculate actual interest. We call interest I. I is equal to P times the rate times the time. So I is equal to PRT. So in this first problem, it says if 5,000 is loaned for 9 months at 6.2 annual rate, how much interest is earned? So I just want to find I here. So I is equal to the amount of money being borrowed here is $5,000 or is loaned. So you're borrowing 5,000, so that's going to be the principal. The 9 months is your time, and your interest rate here is going to be the 6.2. So we're going to label everything first. In any one of these problems, we always start by labeling the different variables. So if I is equal to PRT, we have I is equal to 5,000 times your R is 6.2 expressed as a decimal. You can divide that by 100 if you need to. Or if you know how to do decimals, you always move it 2 to the left. So that'll be equal to 0.062 as a decimal. And then our time is 9 months. But we have to express those 9 months again in terms of years. So we're going to divide how many months are in a year? There are 12. So we're going to divide 9 by 12. And we get either you can write it as 0.75 or you can write it as 3/4. But the time here is 0.75 of a year, 3/4 of a year. So this becomes a calculator problem. We just multiply things now. If you multiply these numbers together, you get 5,000 times 0.062 times 0.75, and I get an interest. So there is $232.50 interest earned on that $5,000. Now, recall when you do this, because we're talking about money, we're going to come into rounding issues. When we round with money, we always talk about cents. So we're always going to round this to the second decimal, no matter what the problem is.